The Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project has called on the leadership of the National Assembly to urgently refer the allegations made by the representative Ibrahim Oyo to anti-corruption agencies for investigation. Oyo, a lawmaker from Jigawa, recently claimed that members of the House of Representatives paid between 1 million and 3 million naira to have their bills presented in the chamber. According to Oyo, since his election in 2015, no bill has been presented without some form of payment, stating that members must pay between 1 million naira and 3 million naira to get their bills heard. Following his claims, some of his colleagues dismissed the allegation, urging Oyo to provide evidence when the House convenes. Now, the House leadership responded by challenging Oyo to substantiate his claims or face disciplinary action. Akin Rotimi, House spokesperson, said that the House takes the allegation seriously and will invite Oyo to present evidence when it resumes. If he fails to do so, the matter will be referred to the House Ethics Committee.
Yes, Deputy Spokesman of the House of Representatives, Honorable Phil Agbese, joins us now in our studio in Lagos for a chat about the allegation of payment made for bills by a member of the House. Good afternoon, Honorable Agbese.
Thank you, Adesu.
Welcome to Newsday. Now, of course, this allegation has spread like wildfire across Nigeria and particularly put members of the House of Representatives on the hot seat. Now, Honorable Ibrahim Oyo has been a member of the House since 2015 and has yet to submit any bill under his name, I believe. I haven't been able to find any bill that he submitted. And he's, telling his constituents the reason is because he has to pay to do so. Now, I want you to, because the House is obviously going against this allegation, if payment is being made to the bill, would the payment be made to the Speaker of the House, Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, or would it be made to the Clerk of the House?
Well, when we had Honorable Yo's allegations, at first we thought that he was rehearsing for a comedy show, but later, detailed analysis of the video clip and the interaction with him showed that he was actually, serious about it. He was the one there. I've personally phoned him to find out from him, and he said it was not artificial intelligence. But again, he apologized, in our personal conversation. You see, basically everywhere in the world, because of the selection process for leadership across the country, of course, out of 360 persons, sometimes you get to find that level of incompetence. Because to say that a member of the parliament since 2015 has not been able to sponsor a bill or even a motion on the floor of the House simply because someone is asking him to pay money, I think that is not correct. I want to categorically state it, to the hearing of Nigerians that it was a lie. Such does not exist anywhere in the parliament. And I want to categorically state, at this point that since we came on board, I don't know whatever transpired since the time in 2015 when he came into the parliament, but I have been here since 2023. So I will be able to speak for the 10th House of Representatives, which, of course, today I'm privileged to be the deputy spokesperson, and to also talk about the leadership of His Excellency Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas. If there is any rare Nigeria that I've encountered, in my close to 4 decades existence, is the Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas in terms of his relationship with that kind of issue. He has made the House very transparent, holding the virtues of accountability and transparency as the basis for which we should be in Parliament and how our businesses should be conducted. Since he came on board as the leader of the Parliament, we have seen, that reflecting in our committee activities. And to a large extent, I believe that Honorable Ayo, must have done this not necessarily out of malice, because he has agreed that, it was an error. He said the people that he's working with, his legislative aides, these are the things they always tell him anytime he tries to. And of course, in that video clip, you also saw when he was telling his constituents that they should gather bills and motions. It is actually not the responsibility of your constituent, to gather bills and motions and send to you in Abuja before you present. As a lawmaker, if you are intellectually sound and you know exactly what you are doing, because you are not just representing even your constituency, you are representing the whole of Nigeria. You can be sent on national assignment, to represent the country. You are also to contribute to motions and debates, because bills and motions have overriding impact on the generality of citizens across the country. Laws are not made specifically for your own constituency. A good example is the tax reform bills. It is a nationwide bill. In fact, it's going to shape our relationship even with members of the international community. So it is not just about his constituency. It is something that he should do, but not from the perspective which he spoke to say you have to pay between 3 million to 5 million. That is totally wrong and not true.
Yes, I want to follow up on something here. But I think something you've highlighted here that's very important is this honorable was voted in 2015, yes. Voted in again in 2019, voted in again in 2023, and has yet to put forward a bill or a motion, and is asking his constituents to supply to it, or saying that it's his legislative aides that are telling him he needs to pay in order to do so. Now, is this common in the House of Representatives that we have members who are not active as legislative members of this body, who are not proposing bills or motions, who are not participating in this way? And also, is it common that they would not understand how the House works? Because if you are being paid, I'm sure I asked earlier, is the payment going to the House itself, the clerk of the National Assembly, or the clerk of the House? Is it going to the Speaker of the House? How does a lawmaker not understand how to list a motion or a bill for hearing?
Yeah, the process of lawmaking everywhere in the world is not like a shopper walking into the supermarket to pick candies. It takes a long process, because bills and motions are contributions to national debate, either to shaping the affairs of the country or to introduce novel issues and debate into our national life as a nation. So it takes a long process, and it takes your intellectual understanding of the issues that you also want to propose your bill or to propose your motion. So very rare, the quality of people that we have, because it is not the entire parliament. You can't blame the entire parliament for the leadership selection process, in the various constituencies. Why it is a democracy is because a professor can go for an election with someone who is barely educated, probably for other reasons. The constituent prefer, the person who is not properly educated to that professor. So communities, constituencies have their leadership selection processes for whatever reasons that appeal to them. But your performance when you arrive at the National Assembly is an entirely different ball game, because you have to demonstrate clearly that you have something upstairs to offer. It is not just enough. For instance, some members might be scared of the lawmaking process when it comes to second reading, because second reading of the bill, you are not even allowed, to read verbatim from your document. But for the first reading of a bill, you don't even need to be present. It can be listed. So the problem now is usually the second reading, where you have to convince the entire parliament with a compelling argument before it can go. And from that, it goes into third reading and all the legislative process before the committee brings it back to parliament for vote. So if you are not intellectually sound, if you are not capable, you are not competent enough, honestly, it's going to be a very difficult task. In this instance case, if you watch clearly the video, you can, of course, tell the kind of representative that constituency has voted to Abuja. You will recall, too, that from that axis, some time ago, we also had a guy who used to say something is blinking and shaking and flicking, that kind of English. It's from that axis. So it is about leadership selection process. But one other question you asked, which I would like to talk about, is you ask if these things, if it occurs, does it go to the speaker or does it go to the clerk? In the first instance, it does not exist. And here I would like to talk about the character and personality, of the right honorable speaker. I will tell you this for free.
But he's not here to defend himself, so...
No, Honorable Ayo.
Yes.
No, I'm here to... No, you see, the parliament is not even under trial. So the question of someone defending the order does not arise. What we are trying to do here is to, play our role, be answerable to Nigerians. someone has said this. This is not a court of law. The parliament is not under trial, and
No,
he's
the
not
reason why
saying.
I said so is because you wanted to put his personality.
No. I'm
and his
talking about
character
I'm talking about the speaker.
Yes, okay.
I'm talking about the speaker.
Okay.
Yeah, because she asked a question and she asked if it does exist, does it go to the speaker or the clerk? And I was going to clarify that the personality of the right honorable speaker, the person that I have observed, wouldn't tolerate that within the parliament either, when it comes to bills and motions, because he has demonstrated clearly this is a man, that is not moved by material resources. In the 9th Assembly, before we came on board, part of the reasons why 353 members voted for him to become the Speaker of the Parliament was he came from the academic as a teacher, and he sponsored the highest number of bills. And since we came on board, because since he came on board, I want to tell you this.
Yes.
You know that we had to beg and compel the Speaker to adopt an official car for the 10th Assembly, even when it was a statutory right to be presented.
But that does not disprove allegations of bribery and corruption. The reason why I say so is that way before your time, allegations like this have always reared its ugly head. From the PIB bill allegation back in 2021 to the very famous one in 2012, Honorable Farouk Lawan, when he had issues. Of course, you know how he actually played out ultimately.
Yes.
So looking at this, because my own question is very simple. Why a disciplinary committee when, if this is not true, this can simply be disproved with a bit of transparency? Why trying to kill a fly with a sledgehammer?
No one has referred him to the disciplinary committee. But again, if, for instance, you are talking about a group of people and it has to do with privileges and rights, some members have sponsored, like the Right Honorable Speaker himself, has sponsored over 100 bills since we came on board. In the 9th Assembly, he was credited with the highest number of bills and motions, followed by the current Deputy Speaker. And these are not very rich people. So if it is about paying for bill, definitely. I think this has to do with intellect. The Right Honorable Speaker, the man who is privileged to be leading the 10th House of Representatives today, is an academic, a teacher, and the way teachers behave when it comes to writing, articulating, and defending what they have written. And I was making this point earlier. I've encountered members, who are very selfless. A very good example is one of our colleagues, Honorable Patrick Umo. These are people that are very extraordinary, that in terms of committee assignment, they have no business with financial...
That is one in well over 300.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That you see, the kind of member, these are isolated cases because you are dealing with 360 persons,
yes, and
one does not even constitute to 1% of the number.
Very true.
You understand? So even the parliament is not an assembly, of angels. But again, I cannot disprove the fact that amongst the saints, there will not be Judas. So if you have even a class, if you go to Oxford or Harvard today, in a class of 20 where they've selected the best, persons across universities in the world, you still have the least amongst them. Someone who is going to have 81% or even 79% when others are scoring 99%. And I think in this case, Honorable Ayo, it's left for Nigerians to not judge because even let us accept that you have to pay. Were you not elected by your people to at least do something on their behalf? Are you saying that since 2015, there have not been any issue, that is very serious in his own constituency? What about simply seconding a motion? Because to second the motion, you don't need more than standing up, being recognized by the speaker to say, sir, I do second. So I think something is wrong somewhere. And what is wrong is not with the parliament. What is wrong is definitely with my right honorable colleague, Honorable Ayo.
Okay, some Nigerians might be watching this and, we live in a society where people believe that there is corruption in every arm of government and there's corruption everywhere. Just recently, the High Court did ask the National Assembly to make account for the 37 billion naira renovation, that's undergoing and prevent, orders release of documents. Transparency in government is very important. Transparency is one of the tenets, I believe, that the 10th Assembly has made part of its agenda for this Assembly, including Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, as you rightly said. But people also want to understand how these things function. How do bills get listed on the order paper? How do people get on camera? You know, I'm asking this because I might understand, but some people are speculating that you need to pay to be on camera, you need to pay to second emotion, you need to pay to raise a petition, you need to pay to raise an order of national public importance. So how do things get listed on the order paper?
Yes. First and foremost, as a parliamentarian, it starts with you, your thought process. Because expectedly, by virtue of your academic training and exposure in the society, there are areas of life that you would definitely be used to, and areas, of course, that in your individual capacity, you must have canvassed some sort of argument, you know, amongst your peers. And when you are going into parliament, you must also have something in mind as the issues that, you know, are peculiar to your locality or yourself as an individual. A good example is the issue of gender bill. Honorable Kafilat Ogbara, you know, is pursuing the issue of gender bill in the House. And if you look at her trajectory, political trajectory, you also realize that over the years, Kafilat has always been an advocate for women empowerment and change in the society. So it is not unusual for her to arrive in Parliament and begin to take that up. Again, if you look at the personality of the Right Honourable Speaker, he has also been a proud supporter of, you know, women representative in Parliament. So it starts from your brain, the way you function as a person. Then it goes into your commitment into writing. So you have to draft this. And what the Right Honourable Speaker has even done that Nigerians also need to know, and probably some members are yet to know, is the fact that within the House, the Speaker has provided legislative support services. And that is again why we have institutions like the National Institute for Democratic Studies. You know, lawmakers you can actually be voted by your people either as a pastor or even a farmer. And when you get to Abuja, you go to the institute. You know, there are short courses that are meant to develop you, you know, in helping to build you to be able to perform optimally. So you translate this into writing, into bill, and of course you should have some sort of gatekeeping around yourself. That's why the government is also paying the legislative aides who are working with us, because no one can be an island of knowledge. So you have these people, you know, to help you. But again, the mistake some members make is that you wake up, you appoint your cleaner as your senior legislative aide. When it becomes time for bill or motion, you become confused.
Yes, we have to go. But I do appreciate that you've highlighted some of the stars like Honourable Kafilat Ogbara, like the Right Honourable Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu, who are working very hard at constitutional amendments right now, and perhaps Nigerians will pay attention to that.
Just to add before I leave. Now, Honourable Benjamin Kalu, if you have seen what he has done with the constitutional review, yes, you realize that this man is a doctorate holder. Not just that, he's also a lawyer by training. So when you place...
Thank you very much for your time.
God bless you.
Unfortunately, we've run out of time. But thank you very much for speaking to us today.
It's a pleasure.